Data doesn't lie, your go-to for the science behind the art of parenting.
Hi folks, welcome back. It's been a minute. We have a new background, a new hairdo. I know there's been a lot of change. We've moved, well, my family has moved. So forgive the little hiatus. It's just been a little crazy around here. But anywho, let's dig in about what we're talking about this week. So I thought it was a very apropos topic to touch on, being that we're living in a time in history where we have to make an effort to contribute positively to narrow the divide, the political, emotional, racial divide, whatever you choose to name that divide. We have to choose to contribute positively to make change. And I think something that has that takes very little effort, but that has a big footprint in how much change it can influence or bring, is checking your implicit bias. And as part of my process of reading and educating myself, I decided to check my implicit bias, and I think this article is a perfect way to check my, well, not necessarily my implicit bias, but the implicit bias in the healthcare, particularly around babies. So we already know in the adult world, right, that African Americans experience implicit bias in multitudes of ways. We won't touch on that. Let's talk about babies. This particular article looked at 18,000 babies over the span of 4 years or so out of Stanford University. They looked at 134 NICUs, premature babies born who were underweight, 1,500 grams. And what they were looking to demonstrate was demonstrate that there is implicit bias when it comes to caring for preemie babies at this particular weight. So what they showed was that premature babies of color are more likely to receive poor quality of care. And they use different measures to determine what quality of care looks like in a NICU. Things like how timely were their eye exams. So premature babies of color were less likely to get timely exams. The speed of weight gain was not as great as compared to Caucasian babies. They were more likely to have hospital-associated infections, more likely to die in the first year of life or die during that hospitalization. Their moms were less likely to receive steroids prior to delivering, and steroids, we know, contributes to long maturation, or at least respiratory distress in the newborn, how well they do. So all these quality of care measures were not as significantly present in premature babies of color. So the big thing here is that all of these things are modifiable. We can change them, right? There are things that need to be changed on a systems level that require policy change, especially when it comes to birth outcomes. Pregnant Black women having poor birth outcomes. Most of those things require system level changes. A lot of the things I mentioned can be changed by just asking ourselves the questions: do I have implicit bias in this particular situation? Weight gain when I'm doing my rounds, how do I approach that? So I thought it was a very good article, and I say this to say, moms of NICU babies, now that you know this, knowledge is power. Not even moms of NICU babies, anybody you know who has anything to do with the NICU, let them know about this article. I'll put a link in the description box below where you can check your implicit bias and make sure that we're providing quality of care to our babies. So one, knowledge is power. And two, now that you know, advocate for yourselves, advocate for your families, advocate for your friends, such that we make a small change that has a big footprint, right? That's kind of it for this week. It's short and sweet. We're back to our short and sweet videos. I hope you liked it. Article in the description box below. Share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.